Welcome, everybody, to the R&R Catcast, a fan-based podcast focusing on Montana State athletics. We're two dudes named Ryan from the state of Washington talking about our dear Montana State. We hope you enjoy it. All right, welcome back, Bobcat fans. Thanks for joining us on our first instant reaction show of the season. We're going to recap the University of New Mexico game in depth tomorrow, but this is just, hey, we're riding home. We want to talk Bobcat football, just some quick thoughts, get it out to you guys. Hope you enjoy it. So I'm joined with my buddy Ryan Thornburg, and let's get into it.
Yeah, not quite so instant. We're recording this on Sunday, but, I was not in a good spot last night to record. I was at a punk festival. I actually had to leave halfway through the game, and at that point, I'm like, you know what? It's okay if I leave right now. This game is not going great. I got a punk festival to go to. This is all working out. Adios. And I'll admit, I thought we were gonna lose.
Yeah, in typical Bobcat fashion, the feels were everywhere.
Yes,
the highs and the lows. But for the most part, there was a lot of lows yesterday until the very end when it was. And you totally redeem yourself
yeah,
for the moment for the Cats right there.
The Cats bumbled around for 3 quarters and then oh yeah, let's play some football now.
Yeah, I think this is a good game to sit and think about because there's a lot of positive takeaways. When you watch Coach Vegan at the very end in his press conference, he's like, yeah, we have a long ways to go. That's good perspective. We were all prisoners of the moment. Some of us want to take back some comments made through text messages. I know you and I both laid off Bobcat Nation. We did not touch that game thread. It was something.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Usually my Sunday morning routine is always get myself a cup of coffee and go browse through the game day thread. Haven't done that yet.
Yeah, no shame to anybody who went off on that yesterday because we were all feeling it the same. And we were on the verge of losing 3 games in a row. And I was wondering, when's the last time Montana State's lost 3 games in a row?
No, you always out me. I'm going to out you. You texted, we've lost 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
You said we've lost, as in the 3rd quarter, or maybe it was the 4th quarter. You said, I don't know, but you straight up said, we've lost 3 games in a row. And I was right there with you. I thought this game was over.
Yeah. Okay.
You always out me. I'm fine. Fire here, fully.
No. I was in the dumps yesterday, especially through the 3rd quarter, when we couldn't convert. When we came out and we fumbled the ball, the second fumble away, the second scoop and 6, I was just I was saying bad things to the television. I'll just say that. I'm glad my family was not around to listen to me. I had to calm down. So, and then the 4th quarter happened and then totally redeemed itself. So we'll get into that tomorrow, but hey, we're here. We're going to talk. I think the way we do these instant reaction shows historically has been talk about the good things, the okay things, and some things we need to work upon. We call those the bad. So
yeah, we always kind of structure this without going the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that's 2 negatives and a positive. So we kind of restructure it to fit more what we do. If this is your first time listening to one of our reaction episodes,
and we normally go through the Big Sky, but there was nothing else going on, so this is it.
We were Spotlight Primetime FS1. I'm curious to see what the ratings are. There was some crazy betting on this game, so I'm sure, if anything, a lot of eyeballs tuning into the game were bettors who ultimately were probably pretty grumpy if they took the Cats to cover.
Oh man, that 13.5 point line, it was just it just kept growing throughout the week.
It did.
I never felt confident with that.
No, I didn't like it at all. I wouldn't have touched that with a 10-foot pole, but it's kind of funny that the Cats basically gave away the exact cover in form of 2 strip sack touchdowns.
And thought about it in that way.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about it. Good. We'll start us off. We had 200-yard rushers. Adam Jones had 167 yards. 93 of them coming on a pretty strategic play. But Scotty Humphrey had a day as well. He had 140 yards. And that was almost as impressive to me because he was just getting chunk yards. Both Adam Jones and Scotty Humphrey really flashed to me. Strong, fast, quick, hit the hole. Looked good.
362 yards, 7.7 yards per carry. We ran for 7.7 yards per carry against an FBS team. That is definitely in my good category with 3 starting offensive linemen missing from the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there were some
shuffle up.
certainly growing pains that we'll talk about maybe probably later on. But overall, super impressed with the run blocking and the run game.
Okay, give me a good.
Ty McCullough. I thought Ty
Yeah.
McCullough was a dude yesterday. He wanted it. He made that huge catch, diving with a guy who definitely hit him early to catch that ball to get us the first and goal, which ultimately set up the Scottree Humphrey game-winning touchdown on the final drive. I thought Ty McCullough had a great day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was in my good category as well. I'm going to go with anyone named Jones, Adam Jones and Rohan Jones. We already talked about Adam. He's going to be a rising star for the Bobcats. But that's the first time I got to see Rohan Jones.
Dude, he's a dude.
He moves really, really nice, quick, fluid. I was like, yes. He looks faster than Snell to me.
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah. I was super impressed. He only had, I think, 3 targets or 3 catches.
He had 3 catches as a tight end, though.
Yeah.
That's good for Montana State. Yeah. And Hunter Provian said once we had four passes to the tight ends. That's good. It's in a good category.
Ryan caught that touchdown
5.
too. Yeah. So anyone named Jones on the team, Rohan, Adam, they had breakout days.
So this is going to be a complicated topic, and we'll talk a lot about it. But in the good category, I'm going to have to put Tommy Malott's resolve. The way he was able to bounce back and lead the team, his leadership. We'll talk about his overall performance. I don't know if I'll put that in the good category just yet, but the way he was able to bounce back and lead the team to a victory down the stretch and kind of get things going. In that last drive, he made the throws, man. And he led the team down the field and ultimately got the win. So got to give him props.
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback on what you just said. That last drive is something in my good category, the 2-minute offense. That was a drive of beauty, and it's something that was missing last year. And we hit it, all those little, I think he had probably 80 yards of passing on that drive alone. And it was just, for a drive that started with promise and then got knocked back because of a holding penalty and on the punt, man, it was clutch. And I was like, I don't want to go for a field goal. Nobody wanted to go for a field goal right there. Let's get it in. And once Ty McCullough caught that amazing pass, like you said, he got bopped on the head. It's pass interference, not called. Scottree Humphrey put it in right away, and game over, man. That was amazing. We led for all of 10 seconds of that game, or led only 10 seconds of that game.
Yeah, crazy. Good category, holding them to 7 points in the second half. And realistically, the defense held them to 17 points. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a little unfair because, the defense isn't on the field when the offense gives up a touchdown and then the offense is right back on the field. So would have changed. Overall, not super impressed with the defense. I'll talk about them later. But holding them to just 17 points and 7 points in the second half was clutch. That was good.
Yeah. I don't have anything else in my good category.
No, I'm trying to think, standout defensive players. The defense was kind of all over the place. I don't really know. I don't have anything else to say in the good category too, other than obviously we won a game that typically we haven't won. It was ugly and we got there, but getting over that hump finally. So much of that game we were texting this just looks like every FBS game we ever play against any FBS opponent. And it did for 3 quarters.
I think I'm going to give the defense a little bit of a pass, not knowing what they were going to see. There's no tape on these guys, and they definitely ran some stuff. Coach Vegan even alluded to it, like that the big package where they ran the QB sneak. That was just a good play.
That was a good play.
Good on them. So they stemmed the tide. They got helped with those 2 drops on key third down conversions. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what happens after that? If they convert it, if it's game over, or maybe who knows, right? But yeah, huge timely drops for them.
Yep, for sure. But okay, moving on. Anything else in the good?
No. I just I'm gonna move on to the okay. I think our linebacker play is kind of just okay. For last 2 years, I've just felt we've been lackluster in that department as far as speed and tackling. I thought McCade O'Reilly actually outperformed Danny Yu. In my opinion, I thought Danny Yu just kind of got washed up a little bit there in the mess. I know he's filling a gap. I don't know if it was a heat or something, but when I watch our linebackers, I'm not impressed right now. They're okay. They're not bad, but they're not like, man, those guys are flashing.
I like the way O'Reilly played. I think he needs a little more experience because he definitely got washed out or made some robberies, but that all comes with time. He had a lot of fire and a lot of, he was decisive. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree that the linebackers are just okay right now.
Hmm.
I thought the defensive line was just okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think they got a lot of pressure very much. And against now that was a huge offensive line, but that was like 5 brand new transfer starters that hadn't played together. I was expecting a little bit more pressure. I don't even know if we even sacked their quarterback. He's super elusive and fast, but we didn't really get close. It didn't feel. And
no,
we weren't sending any help though. It seemed it was like basic. I mean, we did it a few times at the end, and that one of those drops, that crucial drop at the end. I think Danny Yu was on a blitz and had jumped and had probably altered the throw just enough. It was behind the receiver. It should have been caught, but it went
yeah,
behind the receiver, and I think Danny Yu's blitz affected it just enough. So, but we had to start sending guys because I don't think the front four was doing enough.
yeah. Coach Vigan even mentioned that in his post game. He's like, we did not get enough pressure on the quarterback, and I would agree with you. I thought we would see something different there. I don't know if they were withholding. Why would they be? I'm not sure. So
No, we're
interesting.
relying on our guys to beat them, and even like Brody Gravy couldn't beat his guy all game long.
Yeah, I don't know if we see an offensive line that big and that athletic again. I know you say they have never played together, but they were still big
Yeah,
dudes.
they were.
Like really,
It was a good looking line, I
yeah.
thought.
So let's see. I thought Tommy's accuracy was just okay. He missed a couple where you're like, come on, like that's. I think of one to Taco Dowler on third down or 3rd and 9, somewhere in there. He's just completely missed. He missed Taco a couple times. I think of one where Ty McCullough was sitting on the sticks and he has to dive forward and catch it, and he's a yard shy, and then we lose the first down after that. And Ty's like, just put it on me, man. And
Yeah, Ty looked frustrated. Ty looked frustrated a couple times.
yeah, and Tommy talked about his hand sweating a lot yesterday and his hard gripping the ball. So maybe that's part of it, but his accuracy early on was not there. The final drive, that's completely different. Like I said, that was a thing of beauty.
So
But early on,
honestly,
it
he
was
turned his accuracy from a ugly to okay because it started
yeah,
off pretty rocky. But yeah, that one where he had Taco just sitting at the first down line and he just throws it like 5 feet to the right and doesn't even give Taco a chance. That was painful.
mm-hmm. Any others in the okay?
All things considering, I thought the offensive line was okay. I don't know if I'd put them in the bad category.
Mm-hmm.
Considering like Cedric Jefferson was like making his first start, Cole Sane hadn't played hardly any football, period, let alone center in a long time. And then who else was missing? It was Perkins, Reed. I have in my head that we're down 3 starters, but are we not?
Perkins, Reed, and JT Reed.
Yeah, I said Reed.
Oh,
Reed Perkins. Anyway.
yeah. We'll remember it as soon as we log off.
Yeah, of course. But all things considered, I thought they did okay. I thought they were good in the run blocking. Their pass blocking, I'd probably put in the bad category. So I'd probably put them overall straight in the okay category.
Yeah, passing protection was off. That was weird to watch.
A lot of that, I think, is on Tommy.
Yeah, he's just never had to be a pocket passer.
He doesn't sense where the blitz is going to come from or sense pressure very well, it doesn't look like. Or at least he didn't this game. But that could have been New Mexico confusing him. I don't know. But there's a couple times where it's like you think he would have seen that coming kind of things.
I was actually kind of impressed with the Lobos defense. Like it's the multiple fronts. They showed a lot of different looks. They brought a lot of different pressure from different spots, and they did it consistently. In fact, they were sending. It reminded me like a lot of the Grizzlies actually, where they were sending pressure on a lot of plays, like bringing 7 guys, 8 guys.
They were sending the house a lot. Delayed blitzes.
And so on the flip side of that, real quick, we had a lot of nice passing concepts that picked on their man coverage when they were bringing pressure. Like we had some good crossing routes. We had a really nice hitch to McCullough where he picked up like 10, 12 yards. And so that was encouraging to see.
This is another game where I watched watch the game and I see defensive backs giving our guys like 10 yards. There's so many times where we had like 3 wide receivers and there wasn't a DB within 10 yards. I'm like, just turn and throw it to one of them and he'll get 5 yards easy, if not more.
Mhm.
Like, I don't, am I just stupid? Is this like, this seems like such an easy thing to do. Like just
Yeah, and
audible it over and just one guy pops back, you just fire it to the other guy, two guys go out in front and block. There's nobody there. There's no defensive back.
I think you're right. The announcer was talking about it as well. He's like, it's there all day for Montana State if they want it. So,
yeah, and those get quarterbacks in rhythms. Those are easy passes. I don't know.
all right. And let's finish off with the bad.
Tackling.
Yeah. Again.
Continues to be an issue.
With who, though? Because I saw some good, some bad.
I felt like everybody.
Everybody? Okay.
Nobody stood out to me as like good tackling. There was a few good plays here and there, I think overall, but I think everybody had their ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
No one stuck out to me as particularly bad necessarily, but it's just, I don't know. It seemed like a lot of the same looking defense that got kind of ran over later in the season last year.
I know, right?
They brought too many flashes.
Are we just too beholden to the 4-2-5 to make any difference or make any changes? And that's something that's starting to pop up in my mind more and more, to be determined throughout the season. I'll monitor that. I thought we talked about it, but the first thing in my bad category is pressure on the QB. If we want to win with 4 on the front, we got to get there. And we didn't manufacture any pressure on the QB yesterday.
Do you hear my dog barking?
I do.
That's good podcasting audio right there. I can't even concentrate with that going on. Yeah, we got to get a lot more pressure, man. That front forward's going to have to win a lot more matchups at the FCS level. I know Brent Vigen talked about wanting to be the best and competitive offensive line and defensive line in every game we played, and I don't really feel that was the case, especially for the defensive line yesterday.
No. Pass interference was another thing I had in the bad category. Not being able to turn and look, or because we were there, we had the guys in position, and gosh, I saw Coach Vigen ripping Jody Owens on the sideline during the game, and Jody, I thought, just mouthed, "Yes, sir," to him. I was like, "Oh man," I just don't know if the thought that came to my brain was like, I don't know if we have a lot of deep balls in practice where they get to practice that. I mean, Montana State's passing game was not taking a lot of deep shots yesterday, so what they're going against in practice, probably more intermediate routes, catching up, playing defense on streaking receivers. We got caught, and it was kind of iffy.
Now, I imagine New Mexico probably has a lot more speed than we'll see in a lot of games. They got some pretty fast wide receivers, but that one of the first pass interference one was such an ugly underthrown ball. It just happens sometimes. The DB just kind of crashes into a wide receiver when the ball's 10 yards underthrown.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
But yeah, the PI was a big problem. But overall, the penalties I thought were actually pretty good in the game. I'd have to look at the stats. I don't feel like we were particularly overly penalized.
All I had in the bad.
6 for 72. I mean, it's decent. That's more than New Mexico only had 4. They were like one of the most penalized teams in the country last year. I know it's a whole new coaching staff and all that, but it just seems crazy that they only had 4.
Yeah, I didn't walk away from the game thinking the officiating had much to do with it, so that's probably pretty good.
I'm not saying officiating, just like, I don't know. Yeah. Bad turnovers. Tommy getting sacked twice. Getting strip sacked for 2 scores. I might even bump that into an ugly category if we could flex into the ugly category for one thing. That was bad. Tommy's got to not let that happen.
ESPN saying the Lobos had 1 turnover. I can't think of that right now. What happened there?
Yeah, I'm looking at that too, and it does not ring a bell.
Fumble. It says a fumble, and I can't remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, it was the very last play of the game where the guy chucked the ball backwards.
Yeah. There we go.
Which it looked like he was down. I'm surprised that they let it be a fumble, but I think Brody Grebe dove on it.
All right. Well, I think that's all for me. I know we're going to get into it on Monday. Tomorrow night, we'll rehash and think about it, and probably listen to Coach Vegan talk about it tomorrow and have some new perspective and new talking points. And we'll then preview Utah Tech, excuse me. But that's it.
Yep. I mean, I have a lot to say on the importance of this win. We kind of alluded to it a little bit, but we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, I think, because this is a huge win, man. We got that playoff resume that I was hoping we'd get.
Came out with the win. I love it.
Got that win. All right, man. Well, thanks everyone for listening to our delayed instant reaction show. Appreciate it. Let's just get out here. Let's go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.